Good morning, Rich Cawthorn at Alpha Pension Group. Welcome to the retirement recap for Thursday, March 26th, what would have been opening day in baseball. I'm going to have Rob Milas, our Chief Investment Officer, with us this morning, as well as Mark Salamone, our lead consultant, and Jennifer Sahady, our Director of Education. So, Rob, I'll turn it over to you to talk about what happened in the markets yesterday, another positive day, and also what's going on in the futures.
Yes, thanks a lot, Rich. So, yeah, yesterday was another positive day, although it started out looking like it would be more positive. So suddenly at 10 o'clock, between 10 and 2, we started this very positive upward trend. The markets got up to around plus 4%, plus 4.5%, and they hung around there until right around 3:30. And then suddenly, in the last 30 minutes before the close, we got kind of a retracement, and eventually we closed up on the S&P by 1.15%. So good news in that it was positive, good news in that it was followed through from a positive day. First time we had closed up 2 days in a row for nearly a month. Meanwhile, the NASDAQ, which is very tech heavy, tech had a tough day. So it closed down by 0.45%. The Dow closed up by 2.3%. So that was the big winner. With regard to European equities, they had another positive day, but somewhat, more subdued. The Asian and European markets are trading lower today by about 1 to 2%. And the U.S. futures are pointing to about a 1% lower open. So we'll see what happens there. So once we got the stimulus package passed in the Senate, obviously there's still a concern that it ultimately goes through the House, but the focus is really on the human element. And, we've talked a lot about the human element with regard to the health side of things, but now we're starting to focus on the human element with regard to the economic or the unemployment side of things. So we saw unemployment claims spike by 281,000 just yesterday alone, which in some states actually broke the unemployment websites. So they couldn't handle the level of demand. And we're seeing that, predictions here of anywhere from 2 to 4 million unemployment claims ultimately. And so obviously that's a huge impact. The second thing that we're looking at is, obviously we have a stimulus package of $2 trillion. How do you finance that? And the question now is, is that through 30-year Treasury bonds, or, the Treasury is actually considering issuing 50-year bonds again. So we'll see how that all plays out in the marketplace. And then finally, the big impact, if you think about it, is on state government budgets. And those are in deep peril in this market with an extremely declining amount of revenue coming from payroll taxes, et cetera.
Thanks, Rob. Great information. Thanks for being plugged in the way that you are. I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer to talk about participant behavior in this market. Thanks, Jen.
Good morning, everyone. In a 2019 study from investment advisors, they found the number one factor impacting decision-making was recency bias. With that, it means that what's happening currently had a larger weight on people's overall decision-making than the total data. From what I'm hearing from participants, friends, and family, it sounds that recency bias affects both investment portfolios and what you think of your children. Let's think about both of them as long-term investments and keep them. As one of our amazing clients said, don't touch your face or your portfolio because of COVID-19.
That's great. I know. I wish we had thought of that. One of our marketing clients came up with that, right? Social financing, I think is what you said. I love that. So thanks so much, Jen. I'm going to turn it over to Mark to talk about current events. There's a lot going on, passage of the CARES Act and a whole bunch of other things. So, Mark, take it away.
Yes, the CARES Act was passed by the Senate. It goes to the House today. So good news on that, and hopefully a full recap on that bill as of tomorrow, assuming it goes through the House. Some current event updates. Unfortunately, the U.S. death toll topped 1,000 as of yesterday. More measures were continued to be offered. They actually are now closing schools locally here in Massachusetts until May, and schools around the country are now signaling that they may not return to actually, having students back in the classrooms until maybe some point next year. Prince Charles, actually first in line to the British throne, has tested positive. So more and more people that are well known are coming down with coronavirus and are putting out public service announcements about it. So it is becoming more and more widespread, and obviously efforts to contain them are hopefully going to have an effect.
Great, thanks so much. And hopefully, what's your take that maybe tomorrow or over the weekend we'll get further clarity? I know everybody's asking about this CARES Act, especially a lot of our small business clients, what the details are, and we hear terms like forgivable loans and other potentially positive things, which is very good, but details still unknown. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, the hope is we're going to have details at least by tomorrow. We are carving through what so far is being reported, and the hope is that we have more details on this tomorrow. It does seem like it will be positive relief for small businesses that are hurting right now and people that are right now in tough times. So let's see what happens, but hopefully by Friday we have more clarity.
Great, thanks so much, and thanks everybody. That's the recap for today, Thursday, March 26th. We'll see you tomorrow.